United Kingdom, County Essex. During the last weekend of September 2022, and several months prior, when newer campers shot these scenes, all of them starring the Essex Belt Lines modules, as well as beloved model train equipment, many of which no longer serve on the railroads of today. Sit down and relax with us, the Thamesiders Model Railroad Group, and share in the memories of when we stepped away from the problems of the present and just ran model trains. It is June 2022, and we're back at Peach Meadows for an early morning arrival of train number 3, the Essex Belt Limited, not long since her departure from Union Station. A warm summer morning means a tougher time accounting for harder stops and a gentle push forward to compensate, as demonstrated not so eloquently here. What becomes further apparent is the impact of freight operations on the passenger railroad. The engineer knows this is the best time for a straight shot south, but it won't be for long.
Sorry about that.
As the train sets off, be sure not to miss the former Santa Fe lounge car, now sporting Amtrak colours. We'll catch up with the modern Essex Belt Limited later. We now go back in time to the early days of Amtrak and the Rainbow Era. Passing through Peach Meadows is the California Zephyr, spiritual ancestor and inspiration behind the Essex Belt Limited. Being a country town, trains like the Zephyr never stopped at Peach Meadows. To get anywhere then, the residents had to rely on stopper services. Such services included the Chicago Northwestern Afternoon Local to Chicago, seen here on its approach to the town limit, marked by a grade crossing. Peach Meadows was one of several stops for the afternoon local, and was a regular contributor of commuters into the Chicagoland area. Such numbers are still seen to this day on both Amtrak and the Metro services. Here's one last shot of the Zephyr as it highballs past our camera before we move slightly ahead in time.
Not the face.
We are now atop the Dan Highway Bridge looking south. We're expecting to see train number 6, the late afternoon California Zephyr, pass under on our way to Chicago. What we originally thought to be an oncoming freight train, we soon realized it was the Zephyr itself, being pulled by Santa Fe number 247, an SD70M on loan to Amtrak following a breakdown. As this was to be the last official run of the Zephyr on the Essex Belt main line before the Limited took over, Amtrak decided to use the stock which remained decorated in heritage schemes. This included a pleasure dome and observation coach in their original Santa Fe colors. Santa Fe 247 did a tremendous job of moving the Zephyr, but keeping the lights on and the coaches cool is Amtrak's F7B unit, serving as the main generator. If not for the breakdown, matching A unit number 103 would have been at the head of the last Zephyr on the Essex Belt Lines. Moving further forward and at the dawn of the Genesis locomotive, train number 17, the Essex Belt Limited, demonstrates the growing sense of impatience from the new engines to finally arrive. With a sense of deja vu, we find BNSF's newly built ES44AC on point, assisting with Amtrak's struggling F40PH, engine number 291.
What make is that one then? Copy that.
Because of the difficulties, train number 17 had her orders changed to stop on request only for Peach Meadows and other smaller station stops. Less than a year later, at the footings of the Dan Interstate Bridge, we encountered a familiar pair of locomotives hauling a large unit train bound for the northeast. This unit train is transporting a variety of revenue commodities, so it takes the hot seat in terms of track priority. For a discounted rate, Amtrak is permitted to use the Essex Belt Lines. However, to remain competitive, the railroad has to prioritize its partners' freight services, especially those with higher value than the passenger services themselves. This is perfectly demonstrated here, with the next generation of the Essex Belt Limited pulled by an early Genesis locomotive. The Essex Belt Limited's value is no competition. Hence, earlier up the line, it was forced into a siding by the railroad's dispatcher, so the freight could take the lead. It has been trailing ever since. Fortunately, on this occasion, the Limited was only delayed by 30 minutes, but it's been known to be hours, especially during peak times or the main holiday seasons. Despite these constant delays, the Limited continues to be the preferred way to travel across the county, after automobiles, of course. Our last shot of this era is back on the deck of the bridge, watching another ES-44AC from the south. With it is another unit train, still too valuable for the Limited to take priority. Fortunately, the Limited isn't due until the evening.
Otherwise, feel free.
We take one final step back in time to the days of the full local partnerships, and this time the Santa Fe has the Peach Meadows Industrial Spur. Engine number 8517, a GP9, is working the spur. Her orders are to drop off 2 tank cars, both full of diesel to power the local scrapyard's machinery. She is then expected to take a Canadian Pacific boxcar, the last of her consist, to the local interchange. The partnership's current safety regulations prohibit blind running or running with stock in front of the engineer. Therefore, 8517 is to perform a runaround before being able to proceed to the interchange. Before coupling, the crew of 8517 encounter an issue with the boxcar. Its handbrake has locked, making it impossible to hook up the train brakes. Only one non-standard and very unsafe maneuver can release the tension on the wheels. Looks like the maneuver was a success. No one got hurt and the car can now be safely coupled to the engine. And that concludes our featurette. I will now leave you with some unexplored footage of the Southern Pacific Railroad running on the Essex Belt Lines. We hope to explore these railroads' short partnership in greater detail in our next featurette.